All right, welcome to our latest installment of the Rains-Feldman Cyber Liability Update. I'm Eric. Along with me is Scott Lesowitz. And Scott, this week we want to talk about an interesting case that we both write about, and it has to do with memes on the internet. So there was a lawsuit recently, and you can fill in the details, but I believe it was brought on behalf of parents of a child afflicted with Down syndrome, and I think they filed suit in Tennessee, although I could have that wrong, maybe it was Florida. But they sued an individual and his company, and the defendants had a website where they created memes. So why don't you tell us about what transpired?
Yeah, the defendant was actually one of the professional dancers on Dancing with the Stars, and he had taken a photo of a child with Down syndrome who, because of the Down syndrome, was overweight. And the defendant had posted the picture and then turned it into a meme talking about how it's a form of child abuse to let your kid get that overweight. And the parents obviously were upset that it put them in a false light, that they were abusing their child or being very bad parents, when in reality it was a very unfortunate situation. They have a sick child who was has overweight because of a Down syndrome.
So the defendant, and you said the defendant is a dancer on the TV show Dancing with the Stars?
Yes.
Okay. So this dancer, memes use photos of people. That's one of the real dangers here. So I'm assuming he got this photo from social media or just some random place, some random website.
Correct.
And he probably never imagined that he could be sued. But somehow, I suppose this meme got popular enough where the parents found out. Now, if the meme doesn't get popular, nobody knows about it. But So the parents sued for, you said, false light?
Yes, correct.
And so what was the outcome? Did they prevail? Did they get money?
They prevailed, and they've gotten a six-figure judgment now. It'll be an interesting case on appeal, having to do with obviously taking a picture like that and making a commentary. There's free speech issues. There's the right to have commentary on a photograph even if you don't own it. But this is a warning to people. I mean, memes are very popular, and it's a warning about saying things that are overly cruel and make implications about the people who are in the picture that might not be true. And also, there's issues of whether you own the picture, whether it's satire, commentary. It's a very interesting issue, and it's going to be one that the law fleshes out more and more.
We were talking before we started the tape rolling that I suppose you could see copyright infringement claims conceivably, although as a practical matter, most people don't run out and obtain copyright registration for run-of-the-mill photos they have on their social media. So, I suppose they could sue after the fact, but they would be precluded from damages and a lot of other goodies. So there could be a copyright angle here also.
Well, one thing is that if these pictures originated from a stock photography site, then you could be at risk, since copyright is a strict liability tort. I just actually had an attorney who consulted with me because, ironic, it was an attorney. He had a photograph. It was just of stacks of money that he put on his website because he was a bankruptcy attorney. And
I was going to guess personal injury attorney. Okay.
Yeah, bankruptcy attorney. So it was a stack of money, and it turned out that the person who created his website didn't have permission to use it, and the person who created the photograph was from a stock photography site and was somewhat of a copyright troll. Mm-hmm. And so he sued him, and he did have a registered copyright.
I see, and I've had those cases as well with regard to doctors and medical practitioners. So it's easy to copy pictures out there. It's easy to come up with a meme and get it out there. But we know the viral nature of internet-based torts. we know that people a lot of times don't conceive of their bad actions as subjecting themselves to legal liability, but here is a case where it happened. I'm sure the defendant never conceived of being sued. And another thing I think we should talk about is that I think there's a growing hometown effect in some of these internet torts that we see. I think we saw it with great fanfare in a couple of famous cases this year. The Hulk Hogan Gawker case, the Aaron Andrews invasion of privacy case. The point I'm trying to make is you're starting to see big numbers affixed to bad behavior online, and people don't like it, and juries don't like it, and so if you come up with an internet meme from someone and you get sued in, it doesn't have to be a small community, but it could be a smaller community. I mean, I think there's a real danger to people being hit with a big number.
Yes, and also, I mean, if it is a borderline case and the jury just thinks you're being mean and just gratuitous, like here, I mean, you can't get less sympathetic than here. You have someone who's a quasi-celebrity defendant. You have this poor kid who has Down syndrome. Jury's going to not be happy about that, and it's going to affect their thinking on both liability and damages. People are human.
I think that's right. So, the lesson for this week is it may seem fun, it may seem frivolous to come up with an internet meme to impress your buddies or coworkers, but think twice before you create the latest internet meme craze, because maybe you'll be sued, and maybe you'll need us to defend you.
Yeah.
This is Eric and Scott from Rains Feldman. We'll see you next time.